Hello and welcome to WWJPS. What would Jairo Pinto say? This is a channel of an immigrant's daughter. My father, Jairo Pinto, passed away, and he always answered my most critical questions about life. And now that he's gone, I have to use the knowledge he gave me and find my way with it. I'm also in law school and trying to deal with the class war, the Epstein class, the Trump regime, the MAGA folks, and the fact that our government has now killed a few of us in the street and it's letting us rot in warehouses. It's funny, warehouses keep coming up. First, we're locking people in warehouses. We're locking children in warehouses. We're assaulting them in there, and they're dying in these warehouses. So, to me, I find it very interesting that it is the warehouses that are being punished, and it's because they're being used for evil. Different about this time, and it's not the palaces, it's not that it's kings, it's infrastructure, it's logistics, it's algorithms, right? Warehouses aren't just buildings, they're the arteries of the company and the tech CEOs. They're not just people, they're symbols. There's a reason someone threw a Molotov cocktail through Sam Altman's house. There's a reason Peter Thiel is terrified of average people, like deeply, deeply concerned. Because, though quiet as it may be, the revolution seems to be upon us.
House on fire. It is not violent to pay people too little to live. It is violent to graffiti federal property. It is not violent to kill 20,000 babies. It is violent to shoot the CEO of an insurance company in broad daylight. It is not violent to deny millions of people life-saving health care. It is violent to loot a big box store. It is not violent to loot an African nation. These are the rules. It is violent to set a toilet paper warehouse on fire.
Just burning, it's all just burning.
It's fucking 6 in the morning and I have to wake up and go to work and work like 40 fucking hours a week so that some fucking billionaire somewhere can like essay and then eat a child. Good to know that this is the world that we have all created and decide to be complicit.
And the thing is, she's not even just joking. This is not even a dark thing. We've all read the Epstein files, and those that you have not, wake up. Because apparently there is a class of billionaires that instead of paying us a living wage or giving us any sort of security, they do steal our children, rape them, eat them, hunt them. And so everything is toxic. They are murdering, raping, pillaging. They suck the life force out of us. And what do they expect people to do? At what point do we stop? And it is just a handful of them. We're all so convinced that if we don't participate in the machine, that it will stop, and it will, but it will stop for us. We need to take this back. These parasites are killing us while they call us ants, and they just want to steal from us anything they can. If it's not our hours of our time, then it's our consciousness. What did I just say? You eat babies, drink blood, feed us cancer. Yeah. Never forget, 6 people expired at an Amazon warehouse when they were forced to continue working during a tornado. And actually, I remember when there was, it was in a few warehouses, people had died. I don't know why. Someone had died, whether it was a medical emergency, but someone literally dropped dead on the floor. And all you could see were the Instagram posts and it took hours. They just left that body to die there. I mean, that's what they think of us. Oh, well, go get another one.
People gone. Look at this list. Where are all these people going to find work? These are people who gave 10, 20, even 30 years to a company, and all they got was an email at 6 a.m. And we're not talking about one bad quarter for the company. Like, some of these companies are doing really well. Oracle's up 23% this year. Block, Square, they're doing really well too, and they laid off.
Oracle, Larry Ellison, Mark Zuckerberg just went off. They are replacing us with AI. They are firing us for no reason and essentially letting us know that they own us in whatever capacity they can.
40% of their staff. This is everywhere, and it's happening all at once. And despite what anybody tells you, it is because of AI. But the layoffs isn't even what scares me the most. The scary thing is how many people have their entire identity wrapped around some bullshit job. Like, who they are is that title, that company, that salary. Because when that's gone.
And the thing is, that's true, because that's what this country instilled in us. I mean, I used to think, I'll die at my desk because that was a good thing. What the fuck was wrong? I mean, I realize now how propagandized, and also in law school now looking at the laws and really seeing how this country is structured. It was never meant to be fair. This country was never meant to be fair. But now it's done.
$1 a gallon. And like, why do I have to pay rent? And why is rent so high? And why do I have to drive my car and get the gas that I have to get to go to the job that I have to pay for rent? Why do I have to do all of that stuff? And why are you making it so fucking expensive to do it? I don't even want to get out and pump my gas. It feels like getting out and just knowing someone's gonna fucking stab you. Why would you get out?
Agents literally just swarmed the home of that 20-year-old suspect accused of trying to kill the CEO of OpenAI by throwing a Molotov cocktail at his house. Now, we have the Harris County Sheriff's Office here, and again, the FBI. I want to say over.
And for those of you who are just hearing this, FBI raids Texan man home for throwing a Molotov cocktail at OpenAI CEO's home. 0 arrests and raids towards anyone in the Epstein file. They call it a hoax. These women are forgotten. But they did get that kid, and Luigi's in jail. We've stopped all the crime. Burn it to the ground. They just want to burn it to the ground.
Target Jewish students, your actions will not disappear into the darkness. We will shine a light on you that, thanks to Google and SEO, will follow you for the rest of your life. When you look for a job, when you look for a spouse, when you look for a nanny, when you look for anything, our work will always be documented. Again, thanks to Google and SEO. In corporations where DEI leaders smeared Israel, excused Hamas, we pressured CEOs. Some resigned. Many were terminated.
So, just another plug for the fact that America is run by Israel and we do their bidding, partially because we are corrupt and our politicians are disgusting in the blackmail department. And then the other part is they're just greedy. I don't know, honestly, at this point, which is worse. But this is a Zionist message to Americans. Anyone who criticizes Israel is our enemy, and they are using the billionaires to do that. And that is what I mean with these parasites. But they're not paying tax, and most of them are immigrants. Also, what I have found, and it's interesting that it actually still occurs, but what I have found is that people still believe in that if I just work hard enough, or if I patent this idea, I can be the 1%. I can be the billion, because that's how they did it. That's how they did it. No, that's not how they did it. We've been lied to about everything. Everything, remember. Our textbooks were written by Ghislaine Maxwell's father. Our politicians have been blackmailed, and we've been sold an agenda that is not true. So these assholes, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Musk, they are not fucking brilliant, nor did they come up with the sun. Their stories are bullshit. Zuckerberg did not make Facebook out of this fucking, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Essentially, what they really created was a way for all of us to give our data willingly. But this program existed long before he got here.
individuals who worked with him on the project. And if you believe eugenics, Jeffrey Epstein, the godfather of artificial intelligence. It was a DARPA program. It's the CIA-backed research wing that does a lot of research into technology, and it's been the godfather of many very famous technologies, including Facebook, as I'm about to show you right now. DARPA LifeLog was a program that was launched by DARPA. The design of this program was supposed to capture all Americans' information, put it into a LifeLog, track it, build it over time so that you can create an electronic database of every American, and in fact, almost everybody in the world. When congressional hearings started related to LifeLog, it was quickly killed by DARPA. Why? Because it came to the surface, because people learned about it, and because people became very concerned about the impact of all of their information online. This was 2003. This was back when we were a little bit more concerned about what we put into the computer. As soon as LifeLog became public, DARPA quickly killed it. And they killed it on February 4th, 2004. That date is significant because that's also the date that a young hoodie-clad Mark Zuckerberg, sitting in a Harvard dorm room, launched what he called then the Facebook. The Facebook was designed as just a Harvard campus project. That's all Mark Zuckerberg intended it to be. But then, of course, he met the Winklevoss brothers, two relatively wealthy and backed individuals who worked with him on the project. And if you believe the movies, Mark Zuckerberg went in a different direction than the Winklevoss twins. But that's not the real story.
Facebook's origin story has been told again and again. 20 years ago, a group of ambitious Harvard sophomores created the site from their dorm room that would soon go to change the world. I am reading off of an article. The links will be in the bio. Sorry about that. But in certain corners of the internet, there's a much different take on how it all started. One that riffs the timing of the company's launch, February 4th, 2004, and the shutdown of a secretive, now defunct government program. And did you know that Larry Ellison, who owns Oracle, Paramount Plus, is trying to negotiate, TikTok as well, trying to negotiate HBO, Netflix. He also started working with the CIA in a confidential project called Oracle. Come on, folks. It's all bullshit. These people were handed out in order to give us destruction. And unfortunately, we have allowed it, though we have been fooled. And also, let's not forget, these fools were the Epstein class. Zuckerberg hung out with him. Musk was begging to hang out with him. I love that the pedophile didn't want to hang out with him, but he did want to use him. And Altman and Palantir. Oh, Peter Thiel and Epstein, thick as thieves, those two. They were like peas and carrots. Because they were all obsessed with immortality and eugenics and living forever, and also, raping and eating children. But I digress.
Additional emails in the files include comments Epstein made about Zuckerberg, including remarks about Zuckerberg's marriage to Priscilla Chan and references to Facebook's role during the Arab Spring. The dinner occurred 7 years after Epstein's 2008 conviction in Florida for sex-related offenses. At the time, representatives for Zuckerberg said he met Epstein once in passing at the dinner and did not communicate with him afterward. Elon Musk has also stated he did not recall introducing Epstein to anyone and said he did not have a close...
Any lawyer, I don't recall. And all of them were. They're proven liars. They're the scum of the earth, but yet they're revered, and they're trying to kill us off. But people don't want to vote for the billionaire tax. It genuinely, the MAGA and Republicans have sold you such a bag of goods that you think them paying taxes somehow makes an immigrant, a woman, or a brown person better, and white people, I still don't get it. But it's worked somehow.
Relationship with him. The newly released files also include emails suggesting Musk later expressed interest in visiting Epstein's private island, which Musk has denied. He has continued to say, no, he was never involved in Epstein's activities. Following the release, Reid Hoffman acknowledged interacting with Epstein after his conviction and said he regretted the association while denying any wrongdoing. The disclosure adds new detail to previously known.
Those of you who are familiar with my videos know that correlation is my favorite part of them. So before I show our very last video, let's look at this a little bit differently. What if it was never about taking anything from me? Because you've been giving it away the entire time. Not your job, not your time. Something quieter than that. Every hesitation before you click, every emotion you don't say out loud, but pause on just a second longer. Like when you think of something and suddenly the advertisement starts, the system notices. It remembers. It builds a variation, a version of you that does not sleep. Didn't they just say that they were using special technology to find that fallen soldier through his heartbeat that they could listen to through his phone? And here's the part that should feel very wrong. That version is starting to make better predictions than your own instincts. It knows what you'll want before you even feel it. It knows what you'll want, but it shapes what you see before you realize that you even had a choice. Not control, nothing that obvious, just pressure. Subtle, but gentle, constant pressure. Enough to steer you over and over again. How many times I've done that where I was thinking about something, suddenly I'll buy something, or it just pops into my head, oh, that's a good idea, and I realize it really wasn't mine to begin with. So the question isn't, are they taking your consciousness? I mean, that's too dramatic, right? It's too clean. The real question is, if something outside of you can map your thoughts, anticipate your reactions, and quietly influence your decisions, at what point does the difference between you and the version of you that they've built start to disappear? Because once that line blurs, you don't need to take a mind, you can replace it, and that's their goal. That's their goal. This last video is done.
Brain is a locked door, and trauma is the crowbar. Forget the drugs and the demon talk for a second. What if the black eye isn't a punishment but an upgrade? In ancient traditions, the pineal gland hidden deep in the center of your skull is called the third eye. It's the seat of intuition, the portal to higher dimensions. And according to certain scientific occultists, the fastest way to jumpstart that portal isn't through meditation, it's through a concussion to the forehead. This is the Vril philosophy brought into the 21st century. Ancient Egyptian texts describe the third eye as a bridge to spiritual planes. The theory here is that deliberate trauma to the orbital area forces the pineal gland into a state of hyperactivation. It's an artificial awakening designed to grant the recipient enhanced perception, psychic abilities, or a direct uplink to the quantum field. In the high-stakes world of Hollywood and Silicon Valley, being enhanced is the ultimate competitive advantage. They aren't just trying to be famous, they're trying to be evolved. Look at the people popping up with these marks. Adam Sandler appeared on Good Morning America with a brutal black eye, claiming he tripped in bed and his cell phone hit him. For a guy who has maintained science are pouring billions into consciousness research. They are looking for the Vril energy, the literal power of the gods. The mark is the sign of a successful activation. But what happens when you have the power but you still refuse to obey? Imagine you're the most powerful person in the room. You've got the fame, the nuclear codes, or the billions in the bank. You think you're the boss, but then you step out of line. You miss a meeting. You question.
If you made it this far, drop a like or a black heart in the comments. Thank you so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And beware of those billionaires, folks. And make sure you vote yes on that California billionaire tax.